What is up, side hustlers, entrepreneurs, business builders, and dream makers? Welcome to the Study Side Hustle Podcast, episode 37. I'm your host, Devin Tracy. Glad to be here. Great to be back in your earbuds as we are every single day of the week. Hey, how are you guys doing today? Today, I want to talk about something that I believe plagues the majority of people who are starting out as trying to build an online business. And we've talked about things like this in the past. We talked about things like shiny object. I think that plagues just about everybody who is entrepreneurial in nature, right? We've talked about these kind of things. And so today we're doing another one that is just another example of things that I think plague far too many of us. And that is, well, we're really going to mention two aspects of what I think might actually be the same thing. One is our natural tendency to overcomplicate things. You as a business owner have the fundamental job of simplifying at every step in your business, constantly simplifying. How can we make this easier? How can we simplify this? How can we take away from the processes, from the steps, from the tech stack without losing any of the end value? This is the way that you should be constantly thinking, because as a business grows, it naturally complicates itself and becomes an overwhelming giant mess of a thing if you don't have the active job of simplifying. So often we overcomplicate everything. We like to overcomplicate everything. So for example, let me give you one example. Let's say that you hear that you should start email marketing and you're like, okay, cool. Well, I have an email list, and so I could upload it into a ESP, like maybe an Active Campaign or an Aweber or a MailChimp, and then I could send emails, right? Simple. Now, when you do that, the real question is, how simple do you make it? Do you upload your email list into the system and then send an email? Or do you upload your email list into 4 different systems, test all the systems, see which one you like working with the best, hire copywriters to write you 5 different versions of your email campaigns, or if you can't afford copywriters, spend months on end writing these long email sequences that you hope are going to work? Which of those two do you do? I'm not actually, by the way, arguing that you shouldn't do the latter. I'm arguing that you should do the former while building out the latter. You should do the quick, easy, simple, send them emails out while building out your long form email sequence, paying copywriters, seeing which emails service providers you're going to be using long term. But you don't need all of those thoughts to stop you from working. And that actually really is what I think the second problem is that I wanted to talk about today, which is we like to pretend that we are working. We like to do things that feel busy and feel productive, but don't actually move the needle. Things like this might be harping over your web design meticulously for hours and hours and hours every week, or harping over your logo design or your business name, right? Or you can pick a business name today and get the legal entities squared away and go talk to people. Right? Because that's at the end of the day how you're always going to make money in business. So you're going to have real conversations with real people. This is going to be people who end up being clients. These are going to end up being people who end up being people who you hire. These are going to end up being people who you do joint venture projects with. All of that's going to come out of talking to people. If you want to oversimplify business, here's how you oversimplify business and be productive and effective at the same time. Talk to people. Go to networking events, go to expos, go to conventions, have real conversations with real people, go door to door. It doesn't really matter what you do in business. The fastest path to cash is always going to be real conversations with real people, period. So you want to grow your business? That's all there is to it. So if that's the case, how come so many people spend so long reading all of these marketing books and all of these development books and all these business development books and these personal development books and spend all this time taking all these courses and following all these gurus and watching all these YouTube videos and listening to all these podcasts? All of those things are good. But what's bad about them is when you're first starting out, you trick yourself into thinking you need more information before you can get started. You trick yourself into thinking that you need to listen to every single episode of a podcast like this one before you can launch. You trick yourself into thinking you need to buy every course on Google Ads before you can run a Google ad. None of that's true. All of those things are good unless the course or the book or the source isn't good. But for the most part, all those things are good unless you're doing them instead of taking action. You're going to learn faster by running your own campaigns than you are by listening to a podcast. That's for sure. And then when you listen to that podcast, because you're actually running real campaigns, you can know whether or not it's applicable to you, and you can know whether or not it's worth a test. And suddenly you streamline everything. So simplify, and actually take action. That's what I have for you guys today. I'm going to be back in your earbuds tomorrow. Love you so much. God bless.